Hey guys, it's Katie here, and I just filmed my first video for our collab channel, which is Our Life in the Saddle. So don't judge me for wearing the same clothes. I'm just doing a filming day today. This video is going to be all about Mory's eye. I got a couple requests to do this a while ago, so I decided to do it today. Let's get right into the video. So we bought Mory August 17th, 2014. We got a bridle, but it didn't fit him. So we didn't have all Mory's tack in, so I couldn't ride him necessarily that whole week. We were still waiting for everything to get shipped in and everything to kind of fall into place. And he had passed the vet check, and everything was fine. He just had a little bit of arthritis in his right hock, which wasn't a problem unless I was doing like Grand Prix jumpers. He was perfect, he was fine. And then that week I just went out to the barn to lunge him and groom him. I didn't ride, as I said, because I didn't have tack. So I just went out to kind of like spend time with him, get him used to the barn, and sorry, the doorbell just rang. I just basically spent time with him to get him used to everything and his new surroundings. Everything had come in like during the week, and so that Sunday I was supposed to have my first lesson at 4 o'clock. Now Mory, our horses get all-night turnout in the summer, so he had gone to all-night turnout, and then my barn manager had seen that his eye, the inside of his right eye, was coming out. We had no idea. There's nothing like obviously sticking out that could have like hit his eye, and to this day we have no clue what happened. Don't ask me like what happened like to his eye. Like, we have no idea. It's still unknown to this day. I kind of thought at first it was just like the top of his eye. Like, I didn't think it was his actual eye. So my barn manager called my trainer, and my trainer called the vet, and then my trainer also called us. So we like went out to the barn, and I was kind of like nonchalant, like, okay, it looks like my lesson isn't going to be today. Or I underestimated the severity of it. And so we got to the barn, and Mory was in his stall eating his hay. And so you know how there's like always a stall wall, and then his hay was like down here, so we couldn't see his head. He was eating like on the ground, like his hay. Called his name, and I walked up, and then he pops his head up and turns, and then my mom and I gasp because his eye is gushing out. It's like, the first thought was like, oh my gosh, my baby, but like it was disgusting. So worried and scared for him, but it was just horrific. Like, I was so sad. I was like, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have a one-eyed horse. Like, why me? Why now? Why my horse? How'd this happen? Like, why couldn't it have been like his neck or his butt getting stabbed? Forced myself not to believe it. It was very sad, and like I can't explain to anybody how I felt in that moment. And then the vet arrived shortly after, like 5 minutes later, and we pulled Mory out of his stall, and the first thing she said when she saw his eye, yep, his eye's gonna have to come out. And I was like, way to be Debbie Downer. Like, thanks, I just got this horse and you're like saying that his eye is going to come out. Like, thanks. She was wrong. Like, it's still in his eye. Like, right when she said those words, like, there was like a huge lump in my throat, and I started bursting out crying. I was super sad. I was like, oh, I feel so bad for my horse. Oh, I feel so bad for me. How am I gonna ride this horse? How am I gonna jump him? How am I gonna do this, and that? I had not even ridden him in this barn yet. Like, I just had gotten him, and I was still getting over the fact that I had a horse, much less a horse that poked his eye out. I was just so sad, and like, the vet wasn't really like comforting me. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't feel very comforted, and so like they sedated him, and then they like took a picture of his eye and like gave him some eye drops, and then off he went to the vet's office. We loaded him in the trailer, and the whole way there I was bawling my eyes out. And so then when we got there, the girl, or the vet that had come out to see Mory, sent a picture of his eye to the main vet, and the main vet said, I think it can be saved, because at this, I don't know, he just like kind of was optimistic about it, which was a nice change from the people who right when they saw him said his eye's gonna have to come out. So a nice little feel of optimism. Don't get your hopes up. He's probably gonna have to take it out. And I was like, no, I just can't picture that. My beautiful boy getting his eye out. Like, I'm just kind of like dreaming, like, what if it stays in? Like, what if he has vision? Like, what? So, like, we left him there at the vet's office so that, like, they could give him eye drops. And eventually, I was like, that was the first week of school, so I was like, it was torturous, because, you know, like, it's torturous. Just thinking about my horse, I'm like, send me pictures of my horse, text me pictures of him, is he doing okay, like, updates. So I was like really worried about him, and I couldn't see him because I was at school. So that was a really tough week in my life. And then eventually they cleared him to go, and his eye has still not come out. Like, they were going to take it out of his eye, which is disgusting. They, like, cleared him to go back to the barn, so we put him back to the barn, and obviously I couldn't ride. So we slowly kept giving him eye drops, like, that for a couple months, like 3 months, and then he was finally ready to be back in work, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank the Lord, my horse is okay for now, I guess. But he still, like, couldn't see out of that eye, and it's still very sad, he still can't see. But we just kept getting him back into lunging, and yeah, like, lunging him for a little bit, and then my trainer eventually rode him, and he was fine. He was an angel. And then I rode him for the first time, and I actually jumped him in my first lesson. He was fine. Like, I think he knows there's something wrong with him, but he just can't put his hoof on it. Like, that's how I describe it. Like, I just don't think he's smart enough to realize that his eye is out, or, like, he can't see out of his eye. So yeah, but he's doing fine. We're fine to this day. Our first show is at the end of April. He's jumping, and I couldn't be happier. With the situation we were dealt, definitely the best outcome has happened to us, which is such a blessing. Like, I'm super, super fortunate to just have the horse I have, and I'm super glad that we're partners. So yeah, but also I just wanted to show you guys, like, kind of the severity of his eye. So if you get kind of squeamish, I would just close your eyes, because this is kind of graphic and disturbing. So yeah, here is a picture of his eye, and keep in mind, his eye was worse before this, but this is when it got better. So this is what his eye looked like when he came home from the vets. I know it's pretty shocking if you kept your eyes open. Like, it was so scary. But okay, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, because I'd love to hear your feedback. My iMovie is kind of broken because I may or may not have spilled tea all over my keyboard. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.